So, hello everyone. Welcome back to NTU Talk. Me, Anu, shared this side once again to share an extraordinary story from an ordinary person. We have been in life having so many dreams, so many aspirations, but sometimes they are not what we planned for. But there are some people who make something better than what this is given to them. So today I'm going to present to you a person who has an amazing story of transformation, of roller coaster rides, and so many struggles going on. And today we are going to meet a very high profile personality, the Deputy Vice President of HDFC Bank, Mrs. Kalpana Teg.
Well, Namaskar, how are you?
I'm good. I'm thankful for giving so much of time of yours to us. I know you are having a lot of commitments, but thank you so much for giving a time.
Thanks so much,
Okay.
Anu, thanks. It's good to be on a platform with N2 Talks. And I've
Thank
heard
you so much.
and seen your reviews. I think it's wonderful. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Such words are really very encouraging. So thank you so much, because this is a platform that is connecting people, and these are the people who inspire others. So thanks so much for being there once again.
Thank
So
you.
I would like to know a little brief about your introduction, like how has the life been as a child and what other things were their background?
Just to give my background, I'm born and brought up in Kashmir. And I was
Okay.
there in Kashmir till 89. So I was in class 9th when we got migrated. So it was a big struggle for leaving your home, everything, your schooling, your friends, everything there, and moving to a separate city. Then we came to Jammu. It was in a night when you had a roof over your head, and next day morning when you woke up, there's just an open sky and nothing else. So we moved to an open sky. So that was a transformation, what you call. And I was a kid, I was not knowing, although in class 9, but that was a major setback that we had. And after that, I completed my graduation with Government College of Jammu, Parade College in Jammu. Then I did my post-graduation with Rohtak University in English Literature. Then I did my executive program in business management with IIM Calcutta. I did my B.Ed as well because I was aspiring to be a doctor. But then I thought it's better to educate people, and maybe whatever I could not do, but I can make more doctors and more engineers out of students. So that is why I planned that I should do B.Ed also. So I did my B.Ed as well. This is my brief background. And after my graduation itself, I joined a company called, that's a pharmaceutical company. I'm just forgetting the name right now. And then after that, I joined Times Bank. And that was the transformation where life started.
Wow. So before we talk anything else about, let me touch a little bit, like you were from Kashmir and you had to migrate, as you said, overnight the things changed for you. So what was the mindset at that particular moment? Because being in 9th standard, you are a teenager, so many things happening at that time. And when some such setbacks come up, so the thinking process gets affected. So what was it that was coming to your mind that time?
Look, now it's been so many years. I can't tell you exactly what was there. But yes, I think that moment, that was the change. That has happened. Maybe a teenager, our teenage, to be very honest, it was snatched. We didn't had any feeling like being a teenager or, what next. We were just focused on that, how do we meet our both ends meet. So that was, that was the first thing that we wanted to do in life. So, study, doing some job and, doing a lot of things together so that we can earn up and, have a good living. So that was our objective at that point of time. Nothing beyond that.
Right. Okay. So then being in such conditions, still you kept your education going on. How did this happen? Like you did BA, MA, then you are talking about
B.Ed.
IIM Calcutta, that yes,
Yes.
BA, MBA, and you kept doing so many things all together. How did you keep yourself motivating to go for further studies when family needed your bread and the other things?
Look, Anu, I think that everybody has a goal. So that goal was there with me when I was in class 6th and 7th. So I always wanted to become a doctor. Maybe this migration happened, and it was a real emotional dent, I should say. Not a physical dent, but an emotional dent, I should say, that has happened. But that is the thing that kept me going, and I wanted to do something important in my life. I want to establish myself. I wanted at least my parents should regain what they have lost in Kashmir. So I think that was the motivation that kept me going. And not only me, but our generation people, if I see around, are doing wonderful job. They are at wonderful positions now.
So it was a blessing in disguise for you guys.
I should say that, yes.
Okay. So viewers, we are talking to a person who is really at a very, very high position in HDFC Bank right now. She's the Deputy VP of HDFC Bank. And right now she's talking about her aspirations of being a doctor. So can you imagine a transformation from a doctor into the banking sector? This journey cannot be less than worthwhile listening. So please be there and keep listening to the story. So now that Kalpana ma'am, you wanted to be a doctor. So how did that dream shatter, or how did that dream transform? What would you say that?
I'll not say. I think Anu, whatever happens in life happens for good. I am a very, very positive believer, or a strong believer, that a person, there is somebody above us who is designing our life, who is making you flow in a direction. You should always flow with the flow of the water, so life becomes very easy. Generally 99% of people, they flow against the flow of water, so they get exhausted, they get bogged down, and they feel so negative about what is happening in their life. I think this was not the case with me, although I had a dream to become a doctor, and even today I'm pursuing that dream to have a Dr. Kalpana Tang after my name. I will tell you later that what am I doing.
Sure.
But yes,
sure.
I didn't got bogged down. I didn't succumb to the pressures of the time. So I was very confident and positive about myself. So whatever I did and pursued in my life, I think I did it drastically well. The only thing I want to say that whatever you take in hand, you should make it best. Whatever. Even if you have to do a small thing in life, just do it with full passion and with hard work. Things will definitely happen. So I think that is what has happened to me. Not being a doctor, but yes, a good banker.
Perfect. A very good banker, in fact. Okay, so the basic teaching of the today's talk is yes, you don't have to prove your worth flowing against the water, because that way you are going to get exhausted only. Best, or you would say it would be much more being intelligent if you go with the flow of the water and go for the passion you are working for. Work hard. It can be a little thing, it can be a big thing, but work hard and have the passion for it, and you're definitely going to achieve that. And Miss Ting is one of those examples who are an inspiration to the generations. So moving forward, I would like to know, you went into banking sector, and before that you talked about being in Baxon as a homeopathy company.
There. Right. Yes, I missed that name.
Right. Yeah. So how did this Baxon come up? Like, why and how?
Actually, I did my graduation in science. So once I graduated, I was looking for a job, and there was a job of a chemist, and I opted for it, and I got the opportunity in Baxon's Pharmaceutical. Yes, that was the best chemical factory. That was a very good company in that point of time, in around 93, 94. So I got into Baxon. I was doing very well there. I was a chemist there. So, but my only problem was that I was staying in Faridabad and this company was in Okhla. So every day I was supposed to travel. And those days they were just buses, and nobody could think of having a Kinetic or a car or something like this, because it was very old time. So everybody was saying, "Itna dur jati ho tum, it's not good. So look something in and around Faridabad." So one day I got an opportunity to see a paper, and there was an advertisement for a Times Bank. They were looking for some sales executives for the bank. So I went there a day before. Interview was the next day, but looking at the ad and thinking that it is Faridabad, I was so happy that there's some job coming up in Faridabad. I went to an interview a day before. When I met the vice president there, he was like, "Have you come for the interview?" I said, "Yes." He offered me a cup of tea. He sat with me, and then he said, "You open the advertisement you have got." I've seen the date was next day. I felt so embarrassed. I said, "Oh my God, what is it? What have I done?" He said, "Beta, interview kal hai." So I was like, I thought, now I will not be able to come tomorrow for an interview. So I told him, "Sorry, sir." But he took my resume and he said, "Don't worry, you just keep your resume with me." Next day, when actual interview was there, I didn't go because I thought he'll never take me. And luckily, I got the interview letter and I got selected. So that was the only interview in my life till date that I have given. And that too, a day before the actual interview. So
this is
then,
ironical.
Yes. And then Times Bank was taken over by HDFC Bank. So since then, I am with them only. I'm working.
Fine. So again, everything happens for your own good. This is another learning. So she went a day ahead. Probably she turned out to be the best candidate for that. Okay.
Everything
Fine.
is
so
planned.
were you? Correct.
Yes, everything
correct.
is planned
everything
by
is
him.
planned.
We just have to, be patient.
Right.
He will give you your results.
Correct. So did you have a fear that like you had no computers knowledge? You were totally new to some other industry, like going into banking, where a lot of accounting is done and other things. You have to be very responsible with the funds and the finances. So did you have this fear? How would I go about it, or what to do exactly with it?
Anu, the biggest fear in life is when you don't have a roof over your head. So that fear was already over. We have already, had that situation in our life. So I think there was nothing left. So I am never fearful in my life. There's nothing that can scare me. So I think I had nothing in my mind, but I was very positive that whatever I get, I will, do something out of it. You just need to believe yourself. Life is all about believing yourself. Wherever you plant a seed and water it properly, 110%, unless and until that seed is defaulting, you will get the plant and you will eat the fruits. But you just have to be patient, you have to be dedicated, and you have to keep doing your hard work again and again. So I think that was the thing there also. Yes, when I went to banking, it was something new which I had never thought of. But keeping my persistence, I could manage and overcome everything.
Beautiful, beautiful. So again, I would tell all the viewers, this is a story you can't afford to miss. You have seen so many things going on in her life, and still she remained so positive with the things, and she took everything came up her way. We are so afraid to touch something that is untouched by us, and still we make a place in that place. This is going to be an awesome journey. So please stay tuned. So next, how was it feeling like you joined the Times Bank and you started getting on the ladder of the success eventually, and like one promotion after second and third, and how did it happen? Like promotions, I were like, they were bag full of promotions and they were asking you to, you just take it up. How was it?
Yeah, I should not say that it was only promotions. I would take it that life is like a ladder and snakes. But promotions or good things is that you share with everybody. So people outside know only your promotions, but nobody knows what hardships, what hard tasks, how you would be treated. So they don't know the second part of it. So I will not tell everybody that life has been a bag of roses for me. There are thorns with each and every rose. So life is like a snakes and ladders. When you climb the ladder, you should be very, very grounded, and you should not have, you should not feel that you are at the top. There is a snake somewhere who's going to bit you and get you back. So the same thing is with me also. I had my jerks and I had my gaps, but you just have to keep going. That's the secret of life. Just keep going and keep bouncing back. So success will be yours at the end.
But what kept you motivated? Because as you are saying right now, I could make out that there had been a lot of things going on the backside of the story. So how did you keep yourself motivated? What was motivating to you move ahead?
Yeah, it's just motivation is inside you. Don't think that there's anybody outside who's going to motivate you. If you know that where your goal is, if you know that these are your capabilities, so nobody can stop it. People in life, you'll get good people and they will become a ladder. Good bosses, good people, or good friends. They will act as a ladder in your life. But you at the same time have people who bite you in professional life or in personal life. But you just have to keep going. Motivation is inside you. It's not outside you. So it is just you yourself have to motivate yourself. So keep your inner power always intact. Be very positive that you can do it and you can scum it. This is all temporary. These phases do come in everybody's life. We don't need to see negatives in life. We have to bank on our positives. I think my kids, my husband, my family, and even a lot of people around in my professional life have been, appreciating me. And I know my capabilities overall. That yes, I can do it. आज नहीं तो कल सूरज तो उगेगा ना. It can't be a long night. If anybody's life, there is a night that comes in. It will be a sunrise as well. So you have to keep waiting for that sunrise. Maybe it takes a little long, but you just have to keep going on.
Perfect, viewers, perfect. As she said, when the night is the darkest, the dawn is about to break. So I hope anybody of you would be definitely getting connected with this story कि कभी तो सूरज उगेगा ही उगेगा. So आपकी stories, there would be so much similarity to her story also. And I really wish that people get inspired with all this. I have a long list and so many pictures with me of her awards and of her achievements. It is like it will take half of the video for that. Still, I'll try to manage some of the pics over here. Here is a look. Okay. Now then, you got married, right? Next was this.
Yeah.
You got married. So how is the family life going on?
Excellent. I thank my husband. I thank my kids. They have been a great. I thank my in-laws, my family. They have been a great inspiration for me, and they have really helped me in each and every sphere of my life. So I think
it couldn't be better.
Yeah, it couldn't be better.
It couldn't be better. So was there any time, because you were getting involved with many things professionally, so was there any time when you felt like you are going to succumb with the pressure of maintaining your family life or the personal life and the professional life? Or did you ever feel like it's over for me, not to continue with my job, I have to look after the family? Or did you at any point of time feel that family is getting ignored? What am I really doing?
Yes, I will not lie. Yes, that do happen, and that has happened with me also. That is why there is a mentoring. We have a wonderful thing called mentorship. So I think in life you need to have one mentor who may not be your family member, who may be a friend or a professional who knows how to deal it, because these are temporary phases in life. These are not permanent phases. I can say and vouch for it because now my kids have grown up. They are independent. There was a time when kids were in my lap and they needed me most. And I thought, what am I doing? I am just doing nothing. I am a useless person, not able to, contribute to what a mother should. But no, it's all myth. And now I realize that that was a wonderful decision that I have taken. This is all a phase of life. Kids who are grown independently, or for working women, they are so independent. They know how to navigate things. I have seen kids who are pampered and grown in a family environment. Uh, there is a difference. There is a difference. But if you really want that kids should be independent, kids should know how to help themselves, because it's just when they need some food to eat, they should know what to eat, how to manage themselves. So it gives them a better practice when mom is not around. That pamper, they don't get that pampering thing. So I think it is good, and I will advise everybody to keep working. These are small and very few phases in life that do come over, but please don't get scum and don't get pressurized with the social pressures. You should have your own passion, your own goals in life, and keep going. That is my message to all.
Wow. So as you can hear, Miss Kalpana, she had faced all that what usually working women face, like you have to take care of the family, you are doing a wrong part if you are into a job and you're not looking after the kids and the family. But right now she's very, very happy with her decision, as the kids have turned out to be much more independent and far ahead of their age. They know all the good and bads of the life. And she still insists people that, yes, that was the best decision I could have taken. And she still insists people to go for it. So all those working ladies who ever get this grudge in their mind that like I'm not doing good with my family, please do hear this. Okay.
And
so yes, please continue. Anything you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say that I should advise women not to leave job. It's very, very important for you to work, because by women working, it's a family that is turning and that is changing. Not only, for yourself, it's the entire family that gets uplifted if the women is working.
True. So how did you really feel, like what was that point when you felt like I have to transform, I have to go that beyond mediocre level, I have to cross that? Like for most of us, it is like earning bread and butter. I have to go to the office, I'll come back, manage my family, go back tomorrow for work. This is a mediocre life. What was that point where you felt, no, this is not something for me, I have to achieve much more than this, it has to go beyond the sky?
I think, to be very honest with you, initially, like I have also started a job to earn my bread and butter.
Definitely.
But generally, what people do, they just take a job as a job. So they work for 6 hours, and after 6 hours, it's nothing. But in my case, yes, it was a passion for me. I have attained an age and I have a position, but still I have a goal that yes, I have to become executive vice president or this position. So unless and until you keep, changing your goals and you fix goals for yourself, you will not grow. You have to look up to the sky, and then only you will reach somewhere. If you don't look up to sky, you'll just look up to a roof, then you will, be there only. So it is your own dreams that you have to make big. Unless and until you dream big, you will not reach big.
Definitely. So yes, it is your vision. The vision you have, that much would be yours. So if you go for the sky, definitely the sky is going to yours. And if you want to be at the roof only, so it would be there only. So yes, in case you really want to cross that mediocre level and where the 80% of the people remain throughout the life, you have to have a bigger goal, a bigger dream. Okay. Now talking about Miss Ting, you have seen how she transformed from being a doctor, then she went to be a chemist, then she went to a bank, and then she, kept promoting and kept working hard with the banks. And now I'm going to introduce to you a very good phase of hers, which was literally unknown to me also. Just before I talked to her for the interview, I was so surprised to know this phase also. So I'm just imagining, or I'm just wondering how such a busy person can go into it. Now we have so many books from Miss Ting which are written on entrepreneurship and how the women have to be in the job and other things. So she has written so many books also, and they are very well published and very well circulated. So how does this work? Like a busy banking person, how does that person get time to write and then publish, and then not even a single book, it's going 3-4 books, and that too on
Yes.
entrepreneurship and women into job and other things? How did it come to your mind?
Actually, there was always a writer inside me. When I was a small kid, I used to write whatever happened during the day with me. So there are so many diaries, I am maintaining still since my childhood. Whatever has happened, or any bad incident or any good incident, I used to write in my diary. The same thing happened with my job also. So while doing it, तो my husband one day said कि इतनी डायरियां हो गई है कि इसमें तुम किताब लिख सकती हो. So that hit my mind, and I thought, yes, it's a good idea. Why don't I, look back and check that where can I, what is inside me. So I wrote my first book on, women, how they should do and how they should prosper while they are working. So I wrote a book on women, working women. Then I went for emotional intelligence. Then this is my Skill India, because I worked with a university called Skill University in Haryana. That was the first skill university. We have opened an account in Haryana there, and I worked with them, and I wrote a book called Skill India. Then I myself did a executive program, EPBM we called it, executive program with IIM Calcutta. And our teachers in Calcutta just say that you don't have to work, you should employ. Then only you should become an entrepreneur. That is the real phase of your life. So that was a turning point, and I thought, yes, I myself working is no point. Rather than I give employment to 200, 400, 500 people. So I wrote a book called Entrepreneurship. So this is how, phases in life happen. And, I got an idea of the books to be written. Now it has to be, we have to make it practical, not only in writing, but it should happen in my life now.
So are you able to help people go for their work or develop their work? Are you able to do that with your book or with your knowledge, or practically if you are able to do that for somebody?
Yes, not only my job, but I do a lot of other things also. I teach MBA students of government college. I give them lessons, lectures. I teach students with us, what should I say, that socially who are not very fortunate, or students who can't afford good teachers. I give them skilling classes. I tell them how to behave while you have to go for an interview. I prepare them. I make them job ready. I myself, whenever I have to hire people, I hire from these schools where people really require jobs, where they need work. I don't try to hire from good institutes where they just come and work for some time and leave and move for some other job. So I try to nurture my own staff who are less fortunate in life. I work on them a bit, and I really enjoy when they flourish in life. I sometimes receive so many mails in my mailbox, thanking me for they have reached to this level. Now they have become a branch manager, they have become a relationship manager. So I may not be knowing their names also, but I really feel happy when they write to me.
This is really pride, really. So you have seen her transforming her life, making lives transform for others, and the way she's helping socially backward class to come up to a sector where they can really use it as a platform, because banking is very less approached by them. Usually they go for very lower jobs, and banking is really a very high prestigious job as considered as today. So she is helping people to be there, giving classes for MBA. I don't know how many hours does a day have for you. I have no idea.
Look, life has, everybody has 24 hours. And if you look around for all successful people, you just have to start early in life. This is the only advice I give to my students, and I give to everybody I come in touch with, that you just have to start your day early. 5 is the maximum. 5 in the morning is maximum that I will advise everybody to start a day. Once you start a day early, everything falls in place for you. Once you start your day late, then everything becomes a time packed, and everything is as if you are doing hurriedly for everything. So you should not do it. You should start everything coolly and plan your day thoroughly, and maintain your time schedule, that what you have to do at what point in time. That makes your life easy. That makes your work schedule so good, and you are able to give time to every sphere of your life. This is my advice to all.
So this is her secret mantra. Please take it. So all those late risers, please get up soon and make your life worthwhile. So she's doing it all from 5 to, I don't know, up to what time she sleeps. I have no idea, but she's committing that she only has 24 hours with her. So let's take it like she also has 24 hours. So 24 hours are there, which can make our life, or which we can waste as anything. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, next thing is like, are you two different personalities at home and at office, like dual personality, or the same you are at home or same you are at office?
Look, I should not say I am the same, because every job, even at home, you can't be same with everybody. You have to be little tough with your kids. You do little soft with your mother. You have to be different with your husband. So one person can't be a same personality everywhere. But a core person within you has to be one. If you are compassionate, emotional, or hardworking, you will remain the same. But you have to play different roles during the day. So you change faces, you wear different hats. But ideally, I feel that I am the same person, but I am wearing different hats at different point of time. I can't be a mom with my colleagues, or with my people who are working with me. So I have to be little tough with them. I have to be different with my kids. I have to be different with my mom-in-law. I have to be different with my husband. So you are the same person, but wearing different hats at different point in time. You should know how to play it well. I think that's how it goes.
So how does your office people take you? Like for staff, what is the explanation for you, or the description they can give for you?
Look, I exactly you have to ask them.
I need to ask the staff.
But but yes, they respect me. There are people who love and respect me. I am really happy. But actually, what they feel from me, I don't know that.
I'll have another video with them.
Sure.
And what about family? How does your family take you? Like, how do they describe you? Not only kids or husband, but everybody in your family, your in-laws or your relatives. How do they explain you or describe you?
I think I had been blessed enough. I'm always been loved and respected by I've been loved with by my elders. I've been respected by my juniors or younger lot. I think it's all because of the blessings of my elders that I get my love, respect. And one advice I'll give to all of you is that how you manage yourself and how do you want people to treat you all depends on you. The way you treat people, the way they will treat you. So you have to manage yourself, and you should know that how do you want the other person to treat you. So it is all in your hands. It's not about that how others treat you, but you should be. It's in your hands. How do you want them to be treated? So that's my point.
So again, it's like another learning from her that you don't have really to look after who can be happy with me or who is not happy with me. It is how you treat them. This is a reciprocal of feelings, like the way you treat people, they would definitely treat you in the same way. Okay. So how can, what I could make out, like you are emotional too, but how can a emotional person be practical? So practical.
I think I'm more practical than emotional. I'm not very
Exactly.
emotional, but I'm very, very practical. At times it's very bad also, because in corporate world or in family also, I do, to put your point forward or to say what you really want to say. I do say that. I don't mingle my words. It makes me little uncomfortable at certain positions, but I'm very practical. That's my problem, I think. It's my weakness.
That's your greatest strength that made you reach this position, I guess.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
what are the future plans? What are the plans for the future?
Anu, now I think God has been very kind, and I've got enough. I want that I should do something for the humanity. My dream is to open an old age home where we can, help women or people who, whose kids are away or who are not able to get a proper care, or who needs a family away from family, because kids are getting so busy day by day. They don't have, it's not that they don't want to do things for family, but they don't have time. I'm the first case that I'm so busy with my family, my kids, my job, my social networking, that I may also not be, able to pay attention to my mother or anybody else for that matter. So I want that we should do something for the society now. Whatever we have got back till now, we should start trying to, give back to the society. So I'm working on it. God willing, if I'm able to do something constructive.
Definitely, definitely. Good thoughts always have good vibes with them. So you can see the person who was saying just now was saying that she's being very, very practical and less of emotional, and she's turning out to be a humane. Like she's trying to do something for the society, wants to open an old age home for all those who need it. So we are pretty sure next time we are going to have her on this NQ talk for this particular achievement also. Great. Okay. So, like, what I would like to know now, what does life really hold for you now? What exactly is life for you now? You have seen so many things going on in your life. You have been through all sorts of water. So, what value does life hold for you today?
I think we are lucky to have a human life. We should not waste our time. Life is wonderful. Life is awesome. But we generally try and make hell out of it. So it's only we who are responsible for our own, good or bad that is happening. We just have to be positive, and we have to, take life the way it is. If we try to, do something with it, or we try to, what to say, that we try to navigate things without the consent of what God has for you, things don't move. You have to agree and you have to abide by what God has given you. This is for our best. If I think that whatever I have got in life is the best for me, and keep working and, living with it and be happy with it, I'm sure life is going to improve. And life is awesome and wonderful. We are lucky to be human, born human. We can change things for ourselves. So let's not waste it.
Definitely. So, viewers, you can hear it that we really are lucky. There, we are lucky to have this human life, and then we can make a lot of changes in the society. So, let's not waste it. We have seen so many cases of people going for suicides, depression, ending up their lives because they feel they are worthless. But yes, you all are here for a purpose. So let's try to find out that purpose and go for it. That's very important. So, Ms. Kalpana, you have been so encouraging and so inspiring. I don't know what all to ask you. There is so much coming out of all those thoughts. I have no idea what all to ask. It's like so many questions coming up to my mind. Still, I'm trying to fulfill all those questions. So anything you fear of right now, or anything you think like it is still unaccomplished and I really have to do it? Is there any fear, or is there anything unaccomplished except for this your old age home? I know that is a dream right now in your eyes, but something that you feel like it's unaccomplished, I have to complete it, or there's a fear factor behind that?
No, nothing. Actually, I don't know. Maybe now I have realized, maybe after so many years, I have realized that there's nothing, that's left undone. Everything happens for good, and everything happens in your life, or every dream that gets fulfilled or does not get fulfilled has a purpose. Maybe whatever I had dreamt so far has, which could not take off, is all because of my dream. Maybe I was not worth it. Maybe I could not have done justice to that kind of a thing. Maybe the achievements I've got so far is all that was destined for me. So I would advise everybody to be happy and contented with whatever you have in life. Although we should aspire high, we should keep working hard. We should not stop working and just believing that God will come and make things for you. Even a small ant has to make a living. Even a small ant has to carry a big burden and prepare for their rainy days. The same thing is with us also. I think I have done whatever God has given me, and whatever He'll give me in future, I will just be persistent, be honest, and be thankful to Him for everything, whatever He has given to me.
So another thing that I would like to know is like we talk about feminism a lot, and especially ladies at a very high profile post. For them, feminism is something. Let me know from you what feminism is. Like we usually consider, oh, she is a feminist. So are you a feminist? And that means if you are a feminist, you don't feel like men being around, or you don't feel like them being successful, or men taking feminism as something they have seen a ghost. Oh, she believes in feminism, she's a ghost. So what is feminism for you?
Look, to be honest, maybe people will call me an orthodox, or they'll call me that I am I believe in old school of thoughts. But to me, a man without a woman is incomplete. I don't believe in that aspect. I believe that when men and women come together, they become complete. Then the completeness happens. What we call for Lord Shiva, Shiv and Shakti, when they meet, when they come, that is universe. So I don't know about the viewers. Maybe they will think that I am that old school of thought. But yes, this is what I believe in. You are incomplete without a man, and women is incomplete without a man, and man is incomplete without Shakti. Shakti is women. That completeness is there. I don't believe in feminism as a feminism being that men should not be around. But I believe that feminism is there because women, even today, the rate of women working is only 23 to 24%. So we have those 80%, around 78, 79% women who are still, managing their kitchens, managing their household, and managing things. I am very happy that if we create a balance between life, we should not imbalance life. But women should have freedom. Women should be able to work. Women should be able to make their own living. Women should have, choice where to go, where not to go, what to wear, what not to wear. So that is feminism for me, maybe. So that is what I strongly believe, and I strongly take up, that women should be independent. That is the only thing. But I don't believe in that men and women are different. I believe that they go hand in hand. Your life is like a car. If two wheels are women, the other two wheels are men. If any one of the wheel is punctured, your life becomes punctured. So the same way is the life, and same way, that is what my feminism, belief in feminism is. I want that women should be independent. That is all. Nothing beyond that.
So this is a beautiful definition, and typically out of what we have been hearing for over a long, long time, that yes, you are together with a man, you are complete, or a man is complete with you only. But for her, feminism is making women independent. They are not just for those four walls of the house. They have to come out of it, because women have so much of potential. And as she said, statistically, 20% only are the working women. So the rest of the 80% is still going to work on it. So we have to make every avenue, every opportunity, so that we can help those women come out of those walls and show their true colors to the world. They are so enthusiastic about life, but still something in their life is there that is stretching them not to go out of the house. So we have to come out with those things. We have to shatter those things so that they work. They have so much of potential, and this has been proven time and again. The way women are leading the world, it is really awesome. And we have such a great woman in front of us right now, and she has been doing the things, and she's just talking about in a way that as if nothing has been done. It is just as simply done and forget it. So she is so down to earth, so humble. This is another thing that we really need to admire about her.
Thank you so much. Thanks again.
Okay. Now, one word, how would you describe Kalpana as? So this is the answer that we can get the most accurate from you only.
Kalpana is just a speck of dust in this universe. Just a speck of dust.
God. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. Truly unbelievable.
Yes.
Dust can't create so many ripples.
Yes. There's no human being who thinks that he's what he is. Everybody, I think I am just a speck of dust in this universe. Say tomorrow I can just fly off and go out of this universe. Nobody should. I don't believe in that I have created something or I am doing something. It's all planned and I am just the executor. I'm just executing things the way they are. They are happening. I am again and again, pressurizing and, putting my point forward that be it a women or any student or anybody, we just need to keep working hard. We just need to be persistent on the way we are working. And we just need to be honest to our jobs. Things will automatically happen for you. It is not you who do it. It is, being disciplined that things move ahead in life. That's it.
So viewers, can you imagine? This could be the answer to my question. This is truly unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. I can't even think of being on such a position after so many things happening in her life, such a struggle, such a hard work, and she still considers it as nothing. So this, I would say, this is a big learning. And I would definitely ask you people to comment on all this, because that would be very, very precious for me. Okay. Anything you want to change in yourself, or any regret in life? You feel like this should not have happened. I should have taken like this. We all go for those regrets and changes we need in our life. At any point of time, do you think this was a wrong decision, or I regret that still, or I want to change that thing?
I think, Anu, this is the only mistake that people do. I would advise everybody that if you regret on what has already happened, what are you going to get out of it? You are just disturbing yourself, you are disturbing your energy, and you are creating negative thoughts inside you. I have always taught my kids, if you break a glass, then we keep repenting, अरे glass टूट गया. Forget it. टूट गया, खत्म हो गया ना. अगर हम बार बार उसी चीज को रिपीट करेंगे और उसी चीज को, अरे ऐसा होता तो मैं आज डॉक्टर होती, वैसा होता तो आज मैं वाइस प्रेसिडेंट बन गई होती, MD बन गई होती. No, I don't believe in this. I never look back. I just take the lessons from what has happened with me, but I never feel regrets. And I will advise everybody, never be regretful. Whatever has happened for good. Just take lessons out of it. Just learn कि अगर ये हुआ तो इसका नतीजा ऐसा हुआ, तो next time ये नहीं करने का. But keep moving on. Never be regretful for anything. I am not regretful for anything, whatever has happened, because it's my own decisions. So I neither believe, neither make anybody or any situation responsible for me not achieving or becoming a doctor or becoming an MD. I don't believe in this. It is just that you have to, you don't have to repent on what has happened. You just have to always look forward that there is a long life ahead of you. There are more situations that are going to come, and you have to, tackle them in a best way. You just have to learn from your experience, not regretful. I am never regretful, and I don't want to change anything. I have learned very good lessons from what has happened with me.
So another takeaway, that bury the past in its grave. You don't have to keep flickering upon it, like what is happening, why it happened, why didn't I go that side. So learn from your mistakes and move ahead. Life is to move ahead. You don't have to go on the dead end. You don't have to stick to that, because really the time is tickling. We have this one life, we have to create something out of it. Great. So I can't say what golden words I'm getting today out of you. This is
Thank you.
so beautiful, so beautiful. Okay. Any incidents of life that remain untouched? Anything big that remained untouched?
Anything big that I want to achieve, or
Yes.
anything?
No, nothing. Like maybe I have not touched some particular incidents of your life, because whatever I could know out of your things, like, is there something that I missed to ask you, I missed to mention here that can be a good inspiration for people?
No, I think you touched my professional life, my family life, nothing as such. But one thing that I would like to tell everybody is that rather than, moving out or wandering out, we should try to go in. We should try to, explore ourselves from inside. This is what most of the people are missing. We are just trying to, figure out happiness or what we call satisfaction in a rat race. We all want to just move ahead and, keep running here and there. We should not do that. It is better to go inside, work on yourself. Things will automatically happen for you. This is what I can say.
Beautiful, beautiful. Go inside, deep inside. You have all that answers that you are looking outside for. So I just wanted to know one more thing. Like recently you were on Facebook again in the month of August for a big thing. Can you explain a little bit about it? What was it all about?
Actually, it was a talk show, and it was again an inspiration and motivational talk for the students. We have done, HDFC Bank has done a MOU, signed an MOU with Sri Vishwakarma Skill University. That's the first skill university in India, and it has been opened in Haryana, Palwal, on around 500 acres. So only economically backward classes and economically not so fortunate people are, we are taking those students, and we are motivating them and wanting them to do their higher studies. Because generally in economically weaker sections, parents don't have that much of money that they can teach their kids, or they can pay for their higher studies. So we are doing a joint venture where we are promoting kids to go for higher studies, do MBA, MBOC, so that they can become something in life and move ahead. We are inspiring for them for this. So I just had a talk show with them, and I just wanted to tell them that what how they should do in life. That was it.
Great, great. So through this NTU talk, I would really like viewers to make it so publicly known, because most of the people don't know about such details. Now, those economically weaker people can go and study in such institutes, which is a dream for them. So I would really like you all to spread it out so that those people who are really in need of it, they can reach out to it. Okay, so one final question. How has it been on the show on NTU Talk? How is this going on?
Excellent. I think this talk is a wonderful talk, and people who come on the show and they connect with the masses. I think what has happened in my life, there will be millions of people that will be, that they will be having the similar kind of situations in life and similar kind of, feelings, kabhi up, kabhi down. So what I want that this Enthu Talk is a wonderful thing where people can listen to you, get inspired, and think that it's not only with me. There are a lot of other people who have, foregone this stage and have moved ahead. So it's a wonderful platform where you are giving inspiration and motivation to millions of people. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for these beautiful words. Yes, Enthio Talk is a platform which is connecting people, ordinary people out of you and me, but they have created an extraordinary life. So with Ms. Teng's story, we can very well understand that aspirations, yes, they need to be in your life, but they should not be the final goal. You never know what life has for you. It could always be better than what you planned. So go for your inspirations, go with your motivation, keep a positive thought in your life and move ahead. That is the best part you can do. Move ahead. Don't hang on other things. So, Ms. Kalpana, I'm so thankful for giving me your precious time because I really know you have lined up commitments for the day also, but still you gave me so much of time. I'm really very thankful for that.
Thank you so much, Anu. Thanks, Satan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you soon. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.